Have you ever stopped to wonder why some men are genuinely, intensely obsessed with going down on their partners? They don't approach it like a chore or a mandatory box to tick off a checklist. They don't just do it out of routine or because they feel like they have to. They initiate it out of nowhere, they crave it, and they genuinely love every single second of it. And meanwhile, if you are being completely honest with yourself, you might be sitting right there in the middle of that intimate moment, trapped inside your own head. You are wondering what on earth is actually going on inside his mind. You are asking yourself if he is just doing it to be nice, or if there is a deeper reason why he looks so hooked. Most women have never been given a clear, brutally honest, science-based answer to this question. Nobody sits you down and explains the mechanics of what is driving him. And because of that total lack of clarity, a silent vacuum is created in your mind. That vacuum breeds unnecessary confusion. It feeds those quiet, nagging insecurities that whisper in your ear when you are supposed to be letting go. And worst of all, it creates emotional and physical distance right in the middle of moments that were specifically designed to pull you closer together. You pull back just a fraction, you overthink how you look or how you feel, and the connection stumbles. Well, today that entire dynamic changes completely. We are stripping away all the guesswork, all the cultural taboos, and all the quiet anxieties that have been holding you back. We are diving headfirst and straight into the raw biology, the neuroscience, and the psychology behind why men are wired to love this so much. More importantly, we are going to break down what it actually means for your self-confidence, your peace of mind, and your ultimate pleasure. You deserve to finally understand the mechanics behind his desire so you can stop fighting your own body and start fully stepping into the experience. Stay right here with me, because this is going to shift how you view intimacy forever. Let's start by looking at the hard science, because the male brain is literally wired from the ground up for this exact experience. When a man engages in oral intimacy, his brain does not experience it as a neutral task or a favor. Instead, his neurology triggers a massive, instantaneous chemical reward system that lights up his entire mind. First, the moment he engages, his brain floods with dopamine, which is your brain's primary reward chemical. This is the exact same powerful neurochemical that surges when you finally accomplish a long-term goal, when you win an award, or when you experience a major personal victory. It is pure internal validation. To back this up, a fascinating 2017 study published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior proved that men who frequently prioritize and focus on their partner's sexual satisfaction report significantly higher levels of overall personal fulfillment. Giving you pleasure is not a chore to him. At a neurological level, giving you pleasure literally is his reward. Second, right alongside that dopamine surge, his oxytocin levels skyrocket. Oxytocin is widely known as the bonding hormone, or the love hormone, and it is responsible for creating a deep, visceral sense of safety, trust, and intense emotional closeness between two people. When he is right there with you, his brain is being bathed in a chemical cocktail that screams connection and loyalty. At the exact same time, a natural, healthy surge of testosterone kicks in. This testosterone does not just drive dominance, it drives his primal, instinctual desire to possess, to explore, and to be as physically and intimately close to you as humanly possible. He wants to know every inch of you, to wrap himself in your presence, and to bridge any distance between you. When you put all of this together, the reality becomes completely clear. He isn't down there out of a sense of obligation, pressure, or polite routine. His biology, his brain chemistry, and his primal wiring are all working together, telling him loud and clear that this moment feels incredible, meaningful, and deeply rewarding. While the biology and the brain chemistry give us a powerful foundation, they are only half of the overall equation. When you look deeper into what is actually happening beneath the surface, you discover that a man's mind is driven by a powerful psychological framework during these moments. His thoughts, his motivations, and his internal rewards go far beyond simple physical sensation. On a purely psychological level, men are fueled by four distinct, deeply rooted motivators that transform the entire experience into something profound. The first major psychological driver is a concept known as erotic generosity. Emotionally secure, mature men do not view intimacy as a one-sided event where only their personal satisfaction matters. Instead, they derive an immense, almost unmatched level of psychological satisfaction directly from seeing, hearing, and sensing your completely unfiltered response. When he watches you let go of your inhibitions, when he hears your breathing shift, and when he feels your body react, it triggers a deep sense of accomplishment in his mind. Your pleasure literally feeds his confidence, transforming your joy into his ultimate victory. The second powerful motivator is the raw experience of profound vulnerability. Think about what this specific act actually demands from both of you. It requires an absolute, unshielded level of trust. As the receiving partner, you are allowing someone into the most private, delicate space of your body. But look at it from his side as well. He is also stepping into a space of total openness, offering you his time, his undivided attention, and his raw desire without any barriers or defenses. For a healthy, emotionally grounded man, this mutual exchange of vulnerability communicates a powerful, wordless message. It is his way of looking past all the noise of daily life and saying directly to you, I trust you, I want you, and I truly see you. The third psychological force at play is the natural human drive to explore and discover. Men are fundamentally wired for curiosity, novelty, and mapping out the unknown. When an invested partner approaches your body, he does not treat it like a routine path he has traveled 1,000 times before. Instead, he approaches you with a sense of genuine fascination. He wants to learn every single nuance, every subtle shift, and every unique detail of what makes you feel good and what makes you come alive. He treats your body like a world worth studying, honoring, and mastering out of sheer adoration and curiosity. Finally, the fourth psychological driver is the powerful phenomenon of erotic mirroring. Your arousal does not just exist in a vacuum, it directly amplifies his. When he is down there and he can actively watch you let go of your stress, tune out your overthinking, and genuinely enjoy yourself, his own excitement skyrockets in response. It creates an intense, self-sustaining feedback loop where your rising pleasure fuels his desire and his heightened desire deepens your physical release. He is not just doing it for you as a separate entity. He is doing it because your pleasure has become an inseparable, deeply arousing part of his own experience. Despite all of the incredible science, the biology, and the deep psychological truths we just uncovered, I see brilliant, highly successful, independent women fall into the exact same trap every single day in my clinical practice. Right in the middle of an intimate moment, when they should be floating on a cloud of absolute pleasure, they physically tense up. They pull away, they push their partner's hands or shoulders away, or they completely lose themselves to a spiral of overwhelming anxiety. They are trapped entirely inside their own heads, drowning in a relentless loop of silent worries about how they smell, how they taste, what their anatomy looks like, and whether they measure up to some imaginary, impossible standard of normal. They are waging an exhausting war against themselves, while the person who loves them is just trying to connect. Let me be completely direct with you, because you need to hear this without any sugarcoating. Anxiety kills pleasure. The moment you let panic, self-doubt, and overthinking creep into your mind, your body immediately shifts gears. Your sympathetic nervous system, which is your body's fight or flight response, activates at full blast. When that happens, blood flow is instantly redirected away from your pelvic region, natural lubrication plummets, and your muscles lock up in tight resistance. Essentially, your body starts working physically against your own arousal. The very anxiety you feel about his experience or about your own perceived flaws is literally acting as a biological block that prevents you from having an experience at all. You are starving your body of the exact physical conditions it needs to feel good, all because of a story you are telling yourself in your mind. Now, let's listen to the medical reality and lay those persistent fears to rest once and for all. There is no single, monolithic, normal standard for female anatomy, despite what media, culture, or filtered images might have conditioned you to believe. Real human bodies come in an incredible, breathtaking range of natural variations in shapes, sizes, and colors. Every single centimeter of you is unique, and every single variation is entirely normal. Furthermore, Let's talk about scent and taste. A healthy, normal body possesses a natural scent that is packed with biological pheromones. Evolutionary science clearly shows that men are instinctively, powerfully drawn to the natural scent of a woman they are genuinely attracted to. That scent does not turn them off. It triggers their arousal and signals deep biological health. Of course, if you are experiencing a strong, painful, or genuinely abnormal odor, that is an entirely different story, and it is something you should discuss with a healthcare professional. Conditions like bacterial vaginosis or yeast infections are completely common, real medical realities that happen to millions of women, and they are entirely treatable. But if your body is healthy and functioning as it was designed to, your natural scent is nothing to be ashamed of. It is a fundamental part of your biology, and to an invested partner, it is deeply intoxicating. So please, I am begging you to stop going to war with your own body. It is not broken, it is not strange, and it is not imperfect. It is working precisely the way nature intended, and it is entirely worthy of love and pleasure just the way it is. Let's look closely at the statistics and the medical facts that completely change the narrative around female sexuality once and for all. Studies show that approximately 70% of women cannot reach an orgasm from penetrative sex alone. If you fall into this group, I want you to hear this loud and clear. This is not a personal failure, it is not a sexual dysfunction, and there is nothing wrong with your body. It is simply pure, unadulterated human anatomy. For generations, society has pushed a one-size-fits-all script about how intimacy is supposed to work, leaving millions of women feeling inadequate when their bodies simply do not respond the way textbook myths claim they should. But when you understand how female biology is actually constructed, everything falls into place and makes complete sense. To understand why oral intimacy is such a game changer, you have to look at the design of the clitoris. The external portion of the clitoris alone contains over 8,000 concentrated nerve endings, which is more than any other single part of the human body. Think about that sheer density of sensation. Yet, during standard penetrative intercourse, this primary center of pleasure is largely bypassed and left unstimulated for the vast majority of women. Penetration serves its own wonderful purpose in intimacy, but relying on it exclusively as the sole roadmap to an orgasm is like trying to unlock a door with the wrong key. It ignores the actual blueprint of your nervous system. This is precisely where oral intimacy steps in to bridge the gap. Oral stimulation provides direct, targeted, undivided attention to the exact area of your body that is scientifically engineered to bring you the highest level of pleasure. Research published in major journals of sexology consistently demonstrates that women who receive oral intimacy during their encounters are twice as likely to experience a full, satisfying orgasm compared to those who do not. The math and the science do not lie. When your partner goes down on you, he is not just performing a romantic gesture or trying to be polite. He is quite literally offering you the most direct, reliable, and scientifically proven pathway to the complete physical release that your body was built to experience. Knowing the science, understanding the biology, and mastering the statistics of your own anatomy is only step one of this journey. That knowledge gives you the intellectual foundation, but actually stepping out of your head, relaxing your nervous system, and allowing yourself to fully receive pleasure in the real world is step two. Moving from understanding to actual physical surrender can feel challenging when you have spent years wrapped up in overthinking, but you can bridge that gap by using 4 actionable rules to radically shift your mindset. The first rule is to practice radical body neutrality before you even attempt body positivity. Let's be completely honest with each other. You do not have to wake up every single day and love every single square inch of your skin in order to let someone else appreciate it. Trying to force yourself into a state of glowing self-love when you are feeling deeply insecure is exhausting. Instead, just focus on getting out of your own way. Stop fighting your body. Tell yourself simple, grounded truths. Remind yourself that your body is completely normal, entirely healthy, and genuinely desired by the person standing right in front of you. Say those words to yourself quietly in the mirror or inside your mind until you actually start to believe them, even if it is just a little bit. That small mental pivot is often the exact difference between physical tension and total, effortless pleasure. The second rule is to actively use your voice instead of suffering in silence behind a mask of politeness. You have absolute permission to guide your partner gently in real time, communicating what feels good and what needs a subtle adjustment. Whispering something as simple as, right there, a little slower, does not kill the mood, break the magic, or make you demanding. In fact, for a partner who is genuinely invested in your experience, hearing your voice enhances the moment tenfold. It tells him definitively that he is on the right track. It removes all the guesswork from his end. And most importantly, it hands you total ownership and control of your own intimate experience. You are not a passive participant. You are the co-director of your own pleasure. The third rule is to finally give yourself explicit, uncompromising permission to receive. For most of our lives, women are culturally conditioned to believe that prioritizing our own pleasure, taking up space, or wanting to feel good makes us selfish, difficult, or demanding. I want to shatter that myth right here and now. It is not selfish at all. In fact, it is entirely essential for building a healthy, mutual, and deeply fulfilling relationship. When you deny yourself the ability to receive, you rob both yourself of joy and your partner of the satisfaction of pleasing you. Intimacy is a two-way street where giving and receiving feed each other, and you are fully allowed to be the primary focus of the moment without carrying an ounce of guilt. The fourth and final rule is to trust his response and stop rewriting his reality with your own internal insecurities. When your partner is down there, when he is initiating the moment, and when his entire demeanor shows you that he is genuinely thrilled to be pleasing you, you have to believe what your eyes are seeing. Do not let your old, quiet insecurities convince you that he is just faking it, doing it out of a chore, or secretly wishing he was somewhere else. Trust his actions. Trust his biology. Trust the neurochemicals firing in his brain that prove he loves every single second of it. Your body is not strange, it is not imperfect, and it is certainly not too much for the person who cares about you. It is a brilliant, beautifully designed vessel that is entirely capable of extraordinary, mind-blowing pleasure. All of those nagging insecurities you carry around are just old stories you were told or stories you repeated to yourself for far too long. Today, I am asking you to gently set those stories down, just for now. Take a deep, slow breath, let go of the mental armor, and give yourself the ultimate gift of permission to let someone who loves you love you well.